So let me know when you're all ready and you're able to hear me. So I am audible as well as Kindle, so if that is cool, I can start. So when I said, I wanted to do something like this, I think it was a easy and simple decision to say, okay, I am going to raise my hand, so that's why I made you raise all of yours. So I've always done this via Zoom, so I had to ask you to raise your hands. So that's also another one. So I don't have to introduce myself as such. I think everybody knows me as Pungi. So if at all I had to introduce myself, the official version has to follow. So officially on cards, Sunil Satyendra is what I call myself as. The other official part is where it goes as Pungi. So Pungi Dasa is my official pen name, and in the coaching circles in here for the last 15ish months. But it's been a fantastic journey. So I have been an engineer. I think in some capacities I continue to be an engineer. But I think my first love is always writing, and continues to be until I find my +1. So it continues to be the first, and then after that, it's definitely going to be replaced by her. So writing for me was something that has come as is. So I haven't studied writing. I haven't done anything around that area. And coaching also is something that just came to my life, and it just happened. And so writing came first. Then I said I'll take a sabbatical. I'll quit studying and then take on writing. That didn't work out. So typical middle class space is like, get your engineering, then we'll figure out. So 8 more years later is when I have to figure out saying, oh, I have to pivot, I have to switch. And when basically we were asked how many inflection points are there, I think there are only inflection points. And there are injection points also, but that's a separate story. So I am generally afraid of dogs because I've been bitten by a mad dog very early on. So madness maybe comes from that, continues to come from that. But I have a strong tendency to stay away from all canines and all pets. So it switched into this space of getting into an engineering space. But I think I was more infamous for my engineering than anything else. So I was famous for corporate social responsibility, getting people together, chit-chatting, getting, forming people to form groups, get them on a common platform. Over the years, writing also moved. And at some point there was a inflection point saying IT is not my space. And then so I said, I'll take a sabbatical. And after a lot of conversations, it did happen. And then I took a sabbatical, published a few books, and then I said, yeah, I can manage the girlfriend as well as the wife. So came back to office. And then another 2 or 3 years that the pandemic did trigger a lot of other inflections. So where others were getting inflected, I was also getting inflected. So that happened, and I got into spaces where corporate social responsibility or one-trick pony got into other things. Started working with teams around diversity, equity, inclusion, building strong teams across the spectrum of religion, region, all spaces across countries. I had fantastic conversations. So more conversations meant the tech side was going off. Like programming was not happening on the code, but happening elsewhere. Programming and deprogramming was happening here. And essentially, Alice in Wonderland or Pungi in Wonderland basically led me to coaching. So there was a 1 week overlap between coaching and my official tech job. And coaching then happened. Then it was Blitzkrieg, ACC, also in some places Blitzkrieg, PCC. So after that, I'm here. It continues to be a fantastic journey in coaching. So today's space, I want to share that this is a space of windows into wonders. That's the name I put into it. And during coaching, one of the few discoveries that I did was I can coach in regional languages, Kannada, Hindi. So as of now, they stay with that. English though is always there. And I tried to experiment with working with metaphors. And I think so somewhere out there I can say magic with metaphors does happen. So in today's space, so when we talk of coaching, there's a lot of logic saying, what do I want to achieve? What do I want to change? A lot of logical side comes into it. But in today's conversation, I think I want to take you to the magical side of it. And during my writing phase, over a period of refining over the 12 years, I got into a point where I can make anybody start writing. There are a few processes, few tools that are set in place. And essentially, I brought also that into coaching. And they basically was the frog and the fox got married and there was a lot of rain. So essentially that's the story with creativity meeting coaching. So even though they look as two separate spaces, in a space where they merge, it's a perfect marriage. So today, when all of you are here in a January gathering, not an August gathering, I just want to bring you to that space where I want you to experience something and actually go through how you are interpreting stories. Generally use it with your clients, saying, yeah, how do you tap into their magic? My first experience was with the general space of this coaching and creativity, how they can be brought in together, was I asked the usual questions. The usual suspects were cleared. And the client was in an I don't know loop. I want to figure out how, but I don't know how to do this. And all the general tools, Wheel of Life, everything else really came into picture. Then I'm not a guy with assessments. So I said, I'll ask permission and go for it. And the first thing I asked is, when you're talking about this, what is the color that's coming to your thought process? I think that was the first trigger saying something is there here. So it's a treasure that remains untapped. A color they said is black, then where do you want to be? What would that color look like? So we still worked with the ICF way of where to start point A and point B. And things started to move. And then I was asking them to write down on a piece of paper and saying, okay, what's the shape, what's the color that comes to you when you're talking about something. And these used to be intense stuff, not that easy to interconnect or leave out or de-thread a certain story. And they were doing their own storytelling, enabling their own stories to come forth. What is their perceptions they have? What is the space they are trying to read out of a story? We all know we're all stories. Some told, some untold, some waiting to be told, some waiting to be interpreted. But the wait is on until until I come into the picture and remove the weight from you, and the pressure cooker is off, and within 3 whistles you'll get rice. So a lot of experiments happened, and I said there's a lot of space for bringing in these tools that are essentially not mass produced yet. It can be brought into a space where my presencing is enough to get these tools in. So I did another demo 2 or 3 days back, and I didn't know what to do. So the easiest space that I don't do PPTs is like I don't have to look anywhere to say, okay, what does that have to share? Everything comes in the moment. So this is in the moment coaching, so this is in the moment workshop. So Vivek, if you can just pass me my phone. So the first part of your exercise would involve you checking your WhatsApp on the retreat group. All of you are on the retreat group, I hope. So I hope you are intrigued as to what is happening. So none of us know what this is about. So I want to ask you to look at this picture and maybe write down your first thoughts, or just think about whatever is coming to you. So you can choose any of the pictures that resonate, all of the pictures that resonate, add something that you want to add into it. So this is one of the tools that you can use, randomly share. So whenever the client is basically stuck, the logical end is coming back to the same game over station, and it essentially switches off the logical side, and then at some point, just like how the quants are, you're in touch with the higher power or supreme power, and you switch on something that is there underneath that's working for you. So the universe works in strange ways, and your interpretation also is working in different ways. And every client, every person in this group is viewing it differently. So every time you share the same set of topics, slides, etc., etc., it will come back to you with different stories. All of them like an easily flowing river. You're just looking at whatever is flowing through the river, and you're just in the present. So you only have that space where you're seeing what's happening. And this essentially is a way that they are off from a place saying nothing is working to saying, what the hell is this fellow asking me to do? So might as well do it to see where this goes. And so they've switched off that train of thought. The train is going somewhere. Prepare here, but it's going somewhere. And then asking, what are your thoughts? What's it telling you? What's the story that comes along? What are you feeling as you write this across the body? What sensations are coming to you? What are you reminded of? So all the coaching questions can come into equation after you've done something like this. So you can use your own methods, whatever works. Can be like this is just a tool that came in. And previously when I did something, I said, I look at your gallery, go for the 12th picture on the gallery and describe it to me. And then I post it in the group, like if it is family friendly. Go to your gallery, so 12th picture, just have a look at it, whatever is there as a 12th picture on the phone. And you can, if you're comfortable, upload it. But at the same time, before uploading it, look at what's happening, maybe write it down, describe it in your own thought process of what's happening. What feeling is it building up for you? So one of the poems that is emerged here, I hope I have your permission to read. So I am sleepy, she said, me too, others followed. But let's keep our eyes wide open. Sleep and sleep would fly away. Would you like to read? Yeah, I think, yeah.
Hello. I'm sleepy, she said. Me too, others followed. But let's keep our eyes wide open and sleep would fly away. Like the butterfly, like the flying kite, like the flock of birds. These are the pictures I kind of figured. And you will find yourself, and you will be truly home. Like bee seeking honey and flying over, flying over beautiful flowers. Like young turtles moving out into the ocean for their first swim and finding their essence. Being Zen-like, you should be. Move inward using your breath and universal tone of Om as a guiding force.
Fantastic. So the poem has emerged in the moment.
Yeah.
So
Thank
fantastic.
you. Thank you for that.
So generally this is the space. So like, you want to share something? So something emerged in the moment. We did not rehearse this. So you have also not rehearsed it with the client. It hits all the essentials of markers in terms of staying present, allowing the client to see what they want to work with, the stories that are emerging, the metaphors that are coming through, the analogies that are coming through, their own worldviews. The next space when you ask the client is what's opening up for you. So you have a general context that has already been set. So there's a contracting that's already happened. So you can always take it back to the contracting and say, okay, now how does it look? How does it sit with regards to the contract? So that's generally a teaser around how you can bring certain topics into a space of how coaching and creativity can be brought together. I've been told that I have only 5 minutes, or at least Congress is coming to power in 24. Kuch to ho raha hai. So, and again, everybody has an interpretation of whatever. So even now Manjush has written, the interpretation is different. And then maybe even bringing the same poem back, the next session is also something that you can use in the moment space, bring it into it. So basically, when I use it in terms of my tools, there's no history to the tool. And then there's also nothing that I have set it up, then this is how I'll use it. Whatever comes emerges in the moment. And for you also as coaches, this can come. You can work with colors, metaphors, numbers, what's working for them, ask them to do something that they least expected. So their train of thoughts at some point that's not working is switched off, something else takes on board. And there's windows into wonders that you're basically bringing it. So I'll leave you with the last tool, maybe because I only have 5 more minutes. So you can find time whenever you want to write into it, read into it, etc., come back to me. So I give you a word prompt, and then whatever comes to you as a story, you can write it down, or Kedar can give us a shairi around it. Manjusa can give us another poem. So the space is the dice was rolled, the number that came was. That's the thing that I've given you. Whatever comes emerges in the moment. Dice was rolled, and the number that came is dash. So until then, that's what is there. So anybody wants to volunteer with whatever came for you, whatever worked, whatever didn't. So generally in a session we have 1 hour, so we can work with that in any way possible. And there are like truckloads of tools. You can use metaphors, you can use paper cuttings, you can use, like there are other tools that I've also sort of developed. And quarterly once I run a session where I share this as a part of a workshop. The latest one is coming up on 27th and 28th as a 4-hour space for all of us, anybody interested. So only 4 slots in, and so it's like a very cozy session. And then tools you can use, so from there, but basically in that space it's using similar prompts like this to basically build a story yourself, experience that, and then from that go into a space of introspection, reflection, and see what's coming for you. And then from that, what insights emerge, what's not happy, what's not working. So it can be worked in different ways. So you can work with pictures. In the same set of pictures, what didn't you like, what did you like. So with that, there could be like a value proposition space. So what could have been, what else were you expecting, what were you looking for. So anyways the conversation can go. So at least for this one, any takers, we have a little bit of time.
On what emotional?
The dice one. Okay, ji. Go for it.
I want 5.
So what's 5? What does it stand for you?
It aligns with hand, all fingers of hand. What else can come? A helping hand.
And what game do you think we play?
Racket games, badminton, tennis.
And the dice?
Yeah, the dice itself.
Yes, so when I got 5, for me it correlates to the fact that I was born in the month of May. 5 also happens to be my birth number, and I don't know how far it's true, but I believe that a lot of what you do, if it's aligned to your birth number, it ends up working well for you. So I don't have any particular significant date that I can think of 5, but I've always been told 5 is a good number.
Fantastic. If you had gotten any other number, would your thoughts have been different?
True.
So, Bungi, you said that dice is rolled and we don't know what number is there. And I was thinking of a lot of coaches here and maybe in future who are ready to start the journey of coaching but not sure. I mean, we had a morning discussion, we're not sure. So it reminded me of that, and I wrote some lines. Now please, it's like 4 lines I just wrote, so it may not be very deep, okay, so pardon me. But it's like when you're starting something, and the dice is rolled and now you don't know. So what it says is, and somebody doesn't understand Hindi, I will translate for them. Says, किस्मत की बाजी लगा कर बैठे हैं, किस्मत की बाजी लगा कर बैठे हैं, हम सब कुछ अपना दांव पे लगा कर बैठे हैं, किस्मत की बाजी लगा कर बैठे हैं, हम सब कुछ अपना दांव पे लगा कर बैठे हैं, देखिए अब जिंदगी किस राह पर ले जाए, देखिए अब जिंदगी किस राह पर ले जाए, हम रह गुजर पे खुद को सजा कर बैठे हैं. So this is all the best to all the coaches who are ready to start a journey on the रह गुजर जिंदगी अच्छी राह पे ले जाएगी. Thank you.
So generally, I'll give you an example of how one of the things happened. So one of the clients wanted to understand why they are not able to post consistently and constantly on LinkedIn. So, the usual logic is, I know I have capacity, I'm wanting to do it, but somehow something is holding me back. The general contract was I was trying to figure out what is holding me back. So we tried the usual logic, saying what is happening, what do you want to work with, the usual markers. We come back to I don't know. The next thing was when you're thinking about things that are not working, what's the color that's coming for you? And the color that came for him was red. And then the next question was what else is coming? And then he said a kerchief is coming. And now slowly the kerchief is turning red. And so what else is emerging for you in this moment? So some experience about, so basically we got into it a little more detail. What emerged out of this was saying, so I brought it down to say, with this, what is the story that's running in your thought process? There was a space where, not going into the details, so there was a moment in time, back in time, somebody, he had posted something on a social media and it backfired. So that is the memory that we accessed through this space, which logic could not have. And then says, okay, now with this, what is coming out for you? And say now what changes for the handkerchief, what's the color that now you want to get to? So it went into white, then the story continued. So essentially it's this story, what's happening with you, what's the insights that's emerging, and with these insights, what does it tell you about the contracting that we've started with? And then it brought back into this. It can be used by ICF coaches, non-ICF coaches, used in a non-coaching context. Generally because it's exploring that inner story that we're trying to tell. What are the threads that are coming because of that story? What's unraveling in the moment? And then, poetry will come out of it. And then what can come? So sometimes it may not work for the client absolutely at all. Then we'll have to ask permission, check if they want to explore another tool. Could be auditory, could be visual, could be kinesthetic. We'll have to work in the moment. And like once I was doing that, I had no idea what these tools are. Why did I ask for a number? I could have asked for something else. It was just in the moment coaching.